Welcome to the Business Chop, where challenges, success, rewards, and solutions to entrepreneurship collide. Let's chop it up.
Welcome back to the Business Chop, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the strategies to fuel real business growth. I'm your host, Audrey Wiggins, and today we're talking high-ticket hustle, recurring revenue, and webinar wins. And here's my guest, Andy. Andy, take it away.
I'm so excited to be here. My name is Andy Audate, and I've helped over 9,500 entrepreneurs in marketing and selling. We teach a specific framework on how to capture leads, nurture those relationships, and close more deals. Specifically, the way that we do that is through traffic and webinars. Rather than doing one-on-one calls, on this podcast, you're going to learn how you can actually maximize your time by doing webinars, where you bring a group of people who are interested in your product or service and give them an opportunity to buy your product or service on a live Zoom call, streamlining your entire sales and marketing.
All right. And Andy's platform is to entrepreneurs that help them generate over $20 million in revenue. If you've ever felt stuck trying to scale or unsure how to price your expertise, this episode is your roadmap.
Let's get to it.
All right. We're going to do just that, Andy, on the other side of this message.
Knock out your competition with Altogether Marketing. We elevate your brand. Take a stance with your business name, logo, the tagline, your colors, even the fonts for your business. And then jab left with your website, jab right with core values. Back up with product experience and bring it on with you. Visit altogether.biz and let us help you create a knockout brand.
All right, Andy, we're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let me pop the first question to you. All right, so we already talked about part of this. With over $20 million generated through campaigns you've guided, what's the number one marketing misstep small businesses make when trying to sell high-ticket services?
Failing to capture leads. That's the number one mistake, where you fail to capture the name, email, and phone number of your potential customer, such as like when you go on Facebook and Instagram, you see a high-ticket coach or a business owner who's marketing their products or services, and they're posting amazing content, but they don't have a process to capture the name, email, and phone number. Therefore, they're dependent on Facebook showing that coach or business owner again. And when Facebook doesn't, it impacts their business's revenue. But if you capture their name, email, phone number, it allows you to follow up, send emails, and text messages, and make phone calls to turn that potential person, that potential customer, into an actual paying customer.
Yes, and that's what we call the fortune is in the follow-up. Thanks, Andy. All right, webinars. We talked about this off camera a little bit. Webinars are a major part of your success model. So what are the must-have components of a webinar that actually converts?
There's a framework that I follow. It's called MWSBO, and message, where you share your message, and then you share your why. This is the actual framework of the presentation. So if you are looking to generate sales opportunities, many times people go straight into a story at the start of the webinar. And what happens is people start to get drained out, and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to leave the webinar. But rather, here's what you do. You submit a message, share the message, which is just a one-liner hook at the beginning of the presentation to draw the audience in. Then you share why you're doing this webinar and why you do what you do. Then you're going to share what your story is, a little tidbit about your journey. Then you're going to share your business. Then you make your offer. So it starts with message, why, story, business, offer. And you do that in about 90 minutes. And when you do that successfully in 90 minutes, you'll have a good portion of the audience turning into customers.
Wow, that's fantastic. All right, folks, we're on to the next one. Okay, so you've got a company called Progretta. Now, Progretta has reached a seven-figure run rate, I should say. What key decisions help you scale your SaaS, software as a service, business effectively, and what would you do differently?
At the time of this recording, we actually passed the seven-figure mark. Actually, there's an award behind me. This is the seven-figure award for doing over $1 million. So we passed the seven figures last year. But however, what has supported us tremendously is this framework that we follow internally, which is sell. We sell to the customer, then we onboard the customer, And then we have systems to retain the customer, and then we scale with virtual assistants from outside the United States who can manage the customer and give the customer, bring the customer to success. So we call that SOARS, sell, onboard, retain, and then scale the customers that we have.
Awesome. A quick sidebar, because you're talking about virtual assistants, this our support systems, like that. And some people really don't have a clear understanding or might be afraid to do it. And the fear, I think, comes out of just not knowing. Can you give us like a quick tidbit of that? I know that's not really, part of this whole interview, but I think that's kind of important too.
That's a great question. So in 2019, I learned about the idea of hiring international overseas. And my first business was all domestic employees. So my first business was actually T-Mobile. I'm the youngest T-Mobile franchise owner. Wow. And at 19 years old, I opened up my first franchise, and then my second, and my third, my fourth. So I grew with in the cell phone industry. But this was an OTP business, and the OTP business is one-time payment, where the structure of the business was one time. So I would get a cell phone, I get it for like $600, sell it for $900, and I make $300 in profit. That's typically how the business model works. And then many business owners in the cell phone industry don't understand the value of monthly recurring revenue. I know I didn't at the time. Yeah. And so we were like, hey, I get $300, all while T-Mobile is getting paid $75 a month for the next 4 or 5 years on the acquisition that we did, on the customer that we did. But we're excited on that $300. So that was the OTP business. And I remember being taught, like, you get residuals, and your residuals is when 2 years from now, the customer comes back and will buy another phone from you. And because you sold the first one, they're more likely to come back to you because you sold it. So you get $300 in profit now, and then in like 2 years, you get another $300 in profit. And that's kind of the strategy. But T-Mobile's getting $75 a month or $110 a month every single month for years to come. And many franchise owners don't get a piece of that. So I wanted to transition to monthly recurring revenue. And when I transitioned to monthly recurring revenue, I wanted to sustainably do this and give value to our customers. And I learned about that you can hire overseas, where the people overseas have a different culture. They're very caring, very nurturing, which is great for customer service. So when I call, for example, Chase Bank, and I'm talking to somebody, that's how I learned about this. I'm talking to somebody in the Philippines. I'm calling my bank. That's in the United States, but I'm talking to someone in the Philippines. And I'm like, man, you're so nice. Can you just tell me, like, where are you located? Because I hear a slight accent. Oh, I'm in the Philippines. Then I go start doing Google search and online search to understand you can actually hire people in the Philippines who will take care of your customers, or Africa, or Pakistan, or India, but they'll take care of your customers, support your customers, build a relationship with your customers because their culture is naturally nurturing. In America, our culture is very hustle driven. Make decisions fast, very fast paced. Yes. So to give the experience that I want to my customers, like these Fortune 500 companies do, I started to hire where they hire for their customer service. And so you can hire overseas, and then the overseas people will take care of your customers. And what's cool about it is financially in the United States, there's a high rate to pay. So for example, you may pay someone $30 an hour to do a customer service role, but in the Philippines, you may pay $6 an hour, $7 an hour to do a customer service role. And many times they do it better than the person who's doing it for $30 an hour. And so it allows you to scale your business much faster. So culture and finances, all of that makes sense to hire overseas.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Thank you for that, filling in that sidebar for us. Okay, next question. How do you guide small business owners in building consistent monthly or annual recurring revenue? You talked about this when you talked about T-Mobile and the franchise thing, especially when they're starting from scratch.
So a small business owner needs to understand the different type of business, because many small business owners understand the OTP business model. One-time payment. They own retail stores. They own clothing shops. They own nail salons. They own barbershops. All these types of businesses are all OTP businesses where you only get paid when you do a service for that person. And I found when I studied the ultra wealthy, many of them strategically have a business that has monthly recurring revenue, where they're getting paid monthly for something. They may sell something one time, but they get paid monthly for the usage or the continued experience. And the value of that for you is if you can build that over time, that monthly recurring revenue, month one, you start off, let's say, at $100 a month. Month two, You get to $300 a month, $500 a month, and then you continue to grow all the way till you get to $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month, which is where most businesses can really start experiencing freedom. Now, the way I strategically share that with small business owners is I help coaches, online coaches, as well as marketing agency owners implement our SORS system on how to sell to customers. Now we sell one-to-many on webinars, how to onboard those customers, and then how to retain those customers in their business, and then how to scale with the virtual assistants. So the first way to get the customers in is going to be through the webinars. And then the way to onboard those customers is going to be through Zoom calls. And to retain those customers is where your virtual assistant manages the relationship with your organization and the customer for the service that they purchased.
Awesome. Thank you. Organization seems to be at the heart of Progretta's blueprint. What systems or habits do you recommend to help entrepreneurs stay focused and attract clients?
Well, there's two things. So organization from a market standpoint is primarily what Progretta does very well. But the question is around staying focused. Mm-hmm. So as far as organizing your customer, inside of Progretta technology, PROGREDA, Progretta stands for Progress Daily. We just mashed those two words together and created our software.
Oh.
And the objective of most business owners is just to get better every single day. Like, I just want to progress every single day, that extra 1% better today, that extra 2% better today. If you can do that consistently, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you have a whole different business. So that's what Progretta stands for. Now, to organize your business inside of Progretta technology, you want to streamline the process as to how a lead just stands for the name, email, and phone number of your potential customer, how the contact information of a customer turns into an actual paying customer. If you can streamline that process, and you know for certain that every time that you capture someone's name, email, phone number, you have a process of sending a certain amount of emails, certain amount of text messages, certain amount of phone calls, you can then transition them into paying customers.
Now, for a small business to get organized and stay focused, you need to determine your long-term vision, your LTV, your long-term vision. If you can determine your long-term vision and commit to that, then you want to reverse engineer. You want to reverse engineer. So let's say that you create a 5-year vision. You want to reverse engineer, meaning work backwards of what you need to complete by year 4 to hit your 5-year vision. So let's say that I'm building a $10 million business and I want that in 5 years. Where do you need to be in 4 years to be on track? Where do you need to be in 3 years, 2 years, 1 year? Now that you're clear on your year, where you get it to be every single year, then your first year, which is going to be now, your next 12 months, is work backwards on where you need to be every single quarter. And once you understand every single quarter, you're going to have a meeting called a level 10 meeting. A level 10 meeting happens weekly, which happens 13 times a quarter, every single week for 13 weeks, to be on track of where you want to be by the end of the quarter. And you're shifting every single week in your business to hit the quarterly target. You don't change the quarterly target. It never changes because you've already determined your long-term vision. To be on track for your long-term vision, most entrepreneurs, what happen, especially when they start their business, what happens is they're like, hey, you know what? I was on track to do something else, but AI sounds cool. You know, you know what? This business sounds cool. And they're changing their long-term vision, and they're starting new every single quarter. And then guess what happens? 2 years goes by, 3 years goes by, 4 years goes by, 5 years goes by. And then they miss out and they look back 5 years and they're like, I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years, but never got anywhere. And it's because they never focused on that one thing that they determined 5 years ago.
Guilty. Oh my goodness, am I guilty? That goes back to that old adage about saying no, or saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else, and we get caught up. That's all those shiny things coming in our path. Wow. That was awesome, Andy. Okay, so many entrepreneurs underprice themselves. This is a good area I think we need to talk about. What mindset shifts or strategies help them confidently transition into that high ticket offer?
Mindset, first of all, you got to understand your relationship with money. What is your relationship with money in the first place? If you have a relationship with money that maybe your childhood, there was like a money scarcity in your family. I know that was what took place for me. In my childhood, there was a money scarcity. Didn't have enough money to pay the bills, didn't have enough money for the right cars, didn't have enough money for the oil, for the heater in the house, all those things, especially during the winter. So my relationship with money was always scarce. There's a limit on money and we don't deserve it. Then to change my relationship with money, I got around wealthy people. That's the first step. You want to change your environment. Change your environment to be around the top level entrepreneurs. So I'll share with you an example. I have a rich mentor and a poor mentor. My poor mentor is a family member who guided me since I was young. And the results, the fruit of his labor came down to being poor. And my rich mentor is someone who is very wealthy, multi-million dollar house, millions of dollars of car in the driveway, marriage, the whole 9 yards, living a beautiful life. I remember spending time, this was almost 10 years ago. I remember spending time with my rich mentor. My rich mentor says, Andy, you need to hire somebody to do your laundry. And I said, all right, I'll do what you say. And at the time, whatever the income was, it was nowhere near what it is today. And I remember saying to him, but I know my family's going to have a ball with this if I hire people. But my rich mentor was like, hire somebody to do your laundry. Ironically, I went to spend time with my poor mentor and like a week or two after. And my poor mentor says, how's finances? I said, finances are great. I'm going to tell you, man, my rich mentor told me to go ahead and hire a maid to clean my house and someone to clean my laundry and someone to wash my car. Hire 3 people. And mind you, I'm in my early 20s at this time. And he's like, you're young, you're single, you live in an apartment. You need to be doing those things. And he's like, look at me. I don't hire people to clean my laundry. I don't hire people to clean my car. I don't hire people I take out the trash. I do everything myself. And I said, okay. I went back to my apartment and I had a decision to make. Do I hire somebody? I ended up hiring somebody. Listen to my rich mentor. While I'm working with my rich mentor, at this time, my business is I'm a high-ticket coach. And specifically at that time, I was selling an online course on how to speak on stages. I had traveled around with motivational speakers like Les Brown. I was filling up events for some of these big name speakers. That was my business at the time. And I was teaching people on how to speak on stages. Then I was on a sales call with somebody. And we were selling our high-ticket course. And I remember asking the client, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover? And the client's like, Visa, charge me right now. I don't want to wait. Ding me for the 10 grand. I said, okay. I dinged for the 10 grand. And I remember looking back and the cleaner, I had a headset like this. So the cleaner didn't hear my call. And the cleaner that I'm paying, I don't know, $120 at the time too, is cleaning my house, doing my laundry. And I'm like, no wonder my rich mentor is rich, because this was a day that my poor mentor says, you need to be cleaning. This would have been the time I would have been cleaning. So I paid $120 to have the time freedom to take a $10,000 payment. And that happened consistently over my career, where even my house today, there's people coming in to do different things, like to put up these awards here. I hire people for that, right? To clean the car. And any given day, on a Saturday, for example, I have the groomer who takes care of my dog in front of the house. I'll have the cleaner cleaning the garage. I'll have the laundry person cleaning the laundry, and the person who's managing, essentially the house manager, who's taking care of all of these people and all of these processes inside of my home. And any given day, there's 4 or 5 people walking in and out to do their job. That is the difference between a low-ticket person and a high-ticket person who's creating results. You delegate, and it all starts with your relationship with money. So if you can change your relationship with money, it's easy for you to say, you know what, my hour is worth $5,000. Or to work with me for a day, if you want to spend a day with me and have dinner with me, it's $10,000. I remember my first $10,000 VIP day where I charged a client 10 grand to come spend time with me. The first time I did that, I said to myself, my time is valuable. And I said, Mr. Customer, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover to get started. He said, give me for the 10 grand. VIP day secured. He flies to Las Vegas. I spend only 8 hours with him plus a dinner, and it cost 10 grand. And his return on investment was more than 3x. On top of that, most people don't even make 10 grand in a month, but it's your relationship with money. So that's the first thing that you got to change.
Well, let's close it out with this, or near close out anywhere. Can you share a memorable transformation from one of the 9,500 plus entrepreneurs who's used your system, and someone who went from struggle to significant success?
Well, we have clients all over the world. We have clients in United Kingdom. I was just in London doing a speaking event with about 75 potential customers of ours. So we have clients all over the globe. And there's one that hits home because this is an online coach. I work in a co-working space. So I work at home and I work in a co-working space. And the co-working space has different entrepreneurs from different walks of life, all in the same building. It's called WeWork, all different companies. And I remember meeting this one lady. She was pregnant. Like, I'm talking about ready to pop. This was a couple of years ago. Ready to pop. And I remember seeing her. She was on her phone. She was doing a bunch of phone calls, and I could see that she's hustling. I'm like, hey, well, kind of like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm an online coach. I help people, and I have an online course, and I'm, I'm just trying to grow my business. And I see that she's ready to pop. So I start asking her questions about her business, and she tells me that the way that she operates her business is through her cell phone. She has all of her contacts of her potential customers on her phone. I said, show me your website. We go to her website. There's nowhere to capture name, email, and phone number.
Oh, wow.
So there's no lead generation. So she could talk to 100 of her potential customers and say, go to my website. And if they go to their website, there's no action to take place. It's only a lot of information about what she does, but there's no process to start the sales process to buy her product. So I said to her, I think you have a great product. I forget how much revenue. I don't even think she was doing 6 figures at the time. I said, let's just tweak a couple of things. Number one, on your Instagram, let's have people direct message you and make it simple. Meaning, if people direct message you, let's say a keyword called coach. So if people go to your Instagram and say, type in the word coach to your Instagram, what's going to happen is our system is going to automatically ask for their name, email, phone number, and set up a sales appointment with you automatically. That's the first thing. Then we changed her website to add a form to capture name, email, and phone number. Then we added an email marketing campaign. And the fourth thing that we did is we added a webinar system. Just last week, she crossed over $1 million.
Wow.
She crossed over $1 million. And right now she's on a 13-city national tour, traveling around the country, teaching people the services that she does, which is how to start their freelance makeup business. So she's on a multi-city tour. She has Facebook ads running all over the country to her target audience. And it all started, and she's still using our technology to this day. And it all started with that conversation that we had in 2022 when she was pregnant. Now her son is, I think, 3 years old at this point.
It's Audrey Wiggins, your tech diva, celebrating 18 years in business. Thank you to my amazing clients, trusted vendors, and faithful cheerleaders. We've come a long way since launching Altogether Marketing, and it's all because of you. From marketing strategy to branded merchandise, here's how we've helped businesses shine. Graphic and web design, marketing and branding strategy, social media management, domain names and web security, online courses and coaching, video production, podcast planning and design, branded merchandise. So enjoy 18% off graphic and web design services now through July 7th in celebration of our 18th anniversary.
Wow, Andy, you didn't hold back. Systems, mindsets, revenue models. You gave our listeners the whole blueprint. What are your closing thoughts? How can we get in touch with you or find Progretta? Where do we go from here?
Find me on social media, Andy Audate, and DM me the word scale. So ANDYAUDATE. And direct message me the word scale if you're interested in scaling your business. And I'll send you a blueprint on how you can start scaling your business today.
Awesome. That's it for today, Business Shop. Subscribe, share, and meet us back here for more no fluff conversations that move your business forward. Let's keep grinding, keep growing, and stay sharp. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you for listening to The Business Shop. We hope that you were able to glean valuable information from our guests and that you will download and share this podcast. Your rating and review is much appreciated. To go deeper with our guests, please visit their website and social channels. To learn more about us, please visit businessshop.info or altogether.biz, where we will help you expand your brand.